we have finally got the Commander here on the Flex Zone podcast. That's right. Don't adjust your TV screens or streaming devices. It is the official Washington Commanders post game show here on the Flex Zone podcast. And I got my brother, the number one Commanders fan, the Commander himself, the voice of reason, as you know, and the co-founder of this here program, making this all possible. Cravante Bebe, the people have asked, and you have delivered.
Hey man, I'm doing what I can. Oh, here we go. I
Gotta
forgot.
play the song for the people. Gotta play it for the people.
I forgot.
How are you feeling, my brother? 7-2, and we're finally getting some post-game comments, reactions from you and I here with the Commanders as they're having one of the best seasons in recent memory.
Yeah, man. It feels good. This is one of the games where it was like, all right, going into it, we know we are supposed to win, and they actually do it, and it not be a struggle throughout because, and this was before the streak, started. We played the Giants the first time in week 2, I believe it was, and we won, but that game was an absolute struggle. We didn't score any touchdowns. I think it was seven field goals, and we won 21-18, if I'm not mistaken. So the offense seems to have progressed since then. We put up 27 with a chance to put up more because we got into the red zone, but the game was over. So, yeah, man, I feel a lot better because we're beating the teams we're supposed to beat, and I didn't feel any angst. I wasn't really nervous, about this game, even as it was going on. So the Giants have had our numbers for quite some time, and we haven't swept them. And shoot, I don't know how long, let alone Jaden Daniels, a rookie, sweeping them in his first year is crazy. Like these are just things that just don't happen.
7-2 for the first time since 1996, Cravante. How do you feel about that?
That's crazy. That's crazy. I did not think it was that long ago because I know 6-2 was way more recent, but I was like, damn, I didn't think about 7-2. And one of the announcers was saying that, oh, it's been almost 30 years. I said, God damn, 30, it's been almost 30 years. Well, almost 30 years is crazy, but that just goes to show that things are really changing and things are really shifting in a positive direction for this Washington organization moving forward all across the board. Everybody's happy. We're all good. Moving forward in DC, and the fans have something to cheer about. So I'm sure that merchandise is crazy right now.
Let's get to the game, Cravante. You guys win 27-22. Like I always like to do with the Ravens and any other game, we start with the quarterback. Gets the most blame, gets the most credit. Jaden Daniels probably on his way to Rookie of the Year. 15 of 22, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, no sacks. I know you love to hear that. 8 carries, 35 yards. And we can get to the running backs as well. Chris Rodriguez Jr., 11 for 52. Eckler, 11 for 42, a touchdown. Jaden Daniels and this running game. No Brian Robinson today, I believe, right? And
no, right. No Brian Robinson. No Robinson. Right.
So Jaden Dan, we'll start with Jaden, but Jaden Daniels just doing what he does, man, not making mistakes as well.
I think that's the most important part in all of this is that he's leading the offense, right? But then he's also not making mistakes, limiting his errors, just like, and we're gonna keep making this comparison because it's accurate. CJ Stroud last year, I don't think CJ Stroud, it took him, he didn't throw a pick until like week 7 or something like that, and now Jaden Daniels threw a pick much sooner, but overall, he is really doing a great job at leading the offense, one, and taking care of the ball, two. And we love it when it's 0 sacks. Like now, he may takes a couple bumps and bruises throughout the game, make a couple hits, but no sacks, which is great because it's kudos to the offensive line. This is a really good defensive line, even though the Giants aren't playing well as a team as a whole. But that defensive line has Dexter Lawrence on there, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Williams over there. So it did, and Burns. So it's a bunch of it's some star-studded guys on the defensive line. So to have zero in the sack column is amazing. Having zero interceptions is also amazing. So we don't need him to throw for he don't have to throw for 400, 300 yards, for us to win because like you said, we have the running game. So 15 to 22, like you said, um just a little bit over 200 yards and 35 yards on the ground. So we don't even want him running, crazy. We want to run it when we have to. You know what I'm saying? Not because we need him to. Brian Robinson was not active today, but Austin Eckler is a great two-man, and Rodriguez was our leading rusher. And Austin Eckler does it on the ground and in the air, so he's a dual threat, running back in that sense. So them together, along with it looks like McNichols had 8 rushes and 20 yards. So it was a running back by committee, and so that works because we know when B Rob is out, everybody got to pick up a little bit more slack. But Jane Daniels, great game, solid game. We typically don't do well when we go to Jersey, and again, things seem to be changing, and we're going in the right directions. 7-2 is still mind blowing to me.
If I would have told you, Cravante, Scary Terry, a guy who I agree with you is one of the most underrated players in the league, the Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
Big win yesterday, by the way, in Happy Valley against Penn State, by the way. Ryan Day getting it done. 2 catches, 19 yards. He did have two touchdowns. 2 of his catches were touchdowns, but only 19 yards. I mean, Noah Brown has resurgence in 5 for 60. Zacchaeus, 2 for 48. Eckler, as you mentioned, 3 for 41. Dimey Brown, 1 for 24. Spreading the ball around is very important in the NFL. And boy, did the Commanders do it today, getting it done.
Yeah. I think so. That's important. Moving forward with our offense, that we're able to spread the ball around, so we're not honing in on Zach Ertz or Terry McLaurin. Like everybody can get through. Like Noah Brown was our leading receiver, even though Terry McLaurin had two touchdowns. The first one was for 1 yard, if I'm not mistaken. He was on the 1 yard line, and it was like a one-step slant. Um, so even though Terry McLaurin is our number one guy, it's good to know that. And Noah Brown was the guy that caught the Hail Mary last week. So he led the lead. He led the team with catches and receiving. Of course, we love Zach Ertz, even though he wasn't heavily involved, but we love him as a security blanket for Jaden Daniels. Um, Brown, Zacchaeus, like yeah, he did a really good job at spreading the ball around. So, so yeah, offense. As a receivers, it's not it's not name crazy. We don't have big names really, just outside of Terry McLaurin, who I think is still very underrated wide receiver in this league. But I know he's having a blast right now, even though he only had 19 yards, but he saw the end zone twice, and he's getting a lot of I bet he feels really good now that he has JD5 right now, because not just for his stats, but he feels good. He's having fun playing, and he's getting his stats, and they're winning. You know what I'm saying? Terry McLaurin is not used to this. So, he's having a blast right now. And I'm sure at the end of the season, if all goes well as far as health, he will have career highs in probably passing touchdowns. But because he's spreading the ball around a little bit more, he may not have a career high in passing yards. But I'm sure he loves getting in the end zone.
Do you see the Commanders? I wanted to mention this real quick. Tuesday. Do you see them making a move at the trade deadline? Is there anything you would like to see them maybe do or add potentially? 7-2. Do maybe have a few needs at the receiver position, maybe on defense? Is there something you would like to see them do with the Commanders at the deadline?
Yes. I would like them to make a move. But GM Adam Peters is coming in with he coming out swinging. Like he's been doing an amazing job with how he's constructing this football team, and with all the hits from his draft, I am in Adams we trust right now. But I would like to see us upgrade the cornerback position. I would love to see we can add another weapon, another receiver. Now we're not just looking at any receiver. He's looking for a specific type of receiver. So that's cool. He knows what he wants. He knows what he's looking for. Just got to be at the right price. But cornerback is a big deal for us because I think our weakness is the secondary. The Cleveland Browns, since they are having a fire sale, I would love Denzel Ward, and I'll take Newsom. I'll take Newsom as a consolation prize, but we need to upgrade the we need to upgrade the secondary, and also see. I would say kick the tires. See what the Saints talking about with Marshawn Lattimore. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what his contract looks like, but I would love to have him. And it's not a coincidence. I'm not just saying Ohio State guys, Byron, but I think these guys are available. And also word on the street is there are people that want to come here. There are players that are seeking to see, hey, what are the Commanders looking like? You know what I'm saying? And again, that this is also something that we haven't seen in years. People wanting to come to DC, and not to be to party or to go to Howard or anything like that. Like they actually want to come and play for the Washington football team, not the Commanders now, previously Redskins, previously football team, but I actually want to come. But I think everybody's seeing the success, and they want to be a part and possibly help. Let's get on the gravy train while it starts. Because listen, the best time to win a championship is while that contract for your young quarterback is low. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know who those guys are. I'm hoping that it's some top-notch cornerbacks. I would like to see a pass rusher too, but I don't think we're going to pick up three guys, two at the most, maybe. But cornerback one, um, wide receiver two, and if we can upgrade the pass rusher situation, I would like that as well. But Denzel Ward, Marshawn Lattimore, if one of them could come, or Newsom, I wouldn't mind Newsom. Anything could upgrade. You know what I'm saying? So I think JC Horn, I don't know what his status is. Because I think he's how long he's been in the league? 3 years.
I think this is year three. Year three.
So that means he's available, and he's not due a contract immediately. So I'm just saying these are all teams that's not doing well too. So you know what I'm saying. The Cleveland Browns had an opportunity, but it looked like last week was a fluke. But if those guys are available, any one of those three cornerbacks, I think would upgrade our team moving forward.
Got to ask you about the old line. I know you've been harping on it. It's the key. The guys up front, offensive and defensive line. And I'll give it to you there. Offensive line and defensive line. As we get into the defense a little bit, what did you think about those two groups today?
Well, we was talking about it earlier when you was going off of Jaden Daniels' stats. No interceptions, no sacks. And that could be due to a multitude of things. But for the most part, we can say that Jaden Daniels is being way more aware of his surroundings and his pocket, but also the offensive line as a whole is playing very well. So our left tackle this today, Cornelius Lucas, was inactive. So I don't know if many people know this, but we were flip-flopping left tackles this whole year. So pretty much 50% of the time, Cornelius Lucas was out there, and 50% of the time, our rookie left tackle, Brandon Coleman, was the other 50%. And which shout out to Adam Peters, picked him up in the third round, one of the later rounds, I believe. And he's looking really good. This today was a little concerning because no Cornelius Lucas. So you're not playing 50% of the snaps. You're not playing every other drive. You playing every drive. So, that was something to look out for. And as you can see, 0 sacks. So I think him and the rest of the guys on the offensive line are playing well, and they're playing really well as a unit, even with the flip flopping of left tackles. It seems like they're not losing any chemistry. You know what I'm saying? Which is important to have those five guys be together and understand, moving forward. And they're getting better as the season goes on, because I tell you, we got to go against one of the best defenses in the league on Sunday in the Pittsburgh Steelers. But today, I think they played well as a unit.
Defensively, Jeremy Chin, 13 tackles. Bobby Wagner still getting it done with 7. Benjamin St. Juste with 6. How about Dante Fowler, Cavante? 6 tackles, 2 sacks. He's been probably the best pass rusher, of course, with the injury, unfortunately, to Mr. Allen, Jonathan Allen.
Yeah.
What do you think about your defense, though? I know it's been much maligned, but over the last few weeks, Chicago and New York, they played better.
Yeah. So Joe Witt Jr., our defensive coordinator, is doing a hell of a job. I think he's doing an absolute amazing job with this defense. Um, the first month it was a struggle. Yeah, what I'm saying? It was a struggle, but excuse me, but he's gotten them along, of course, with Dan Quinn, with a mindset. You guys are gonna be tougher. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna be tough first. We gotta be tough and tackle first, and then we'll figure out everything else, on the back end. But on as a foundation, tackle, toughness. That has to be the foundation in defense, because you got to be able to tackle, and you got to be able to be tough to impose your will and be dominant as a defense. And our front seven has been, well. Let me say this: really, our front six, because our base is really a nickel. So we only have 4D linemen and 2 linebackers. Usually, Luvu and Wagner are our linebackers, and Chin will be our hybrid, you know. And Mike Samverstill, I don't know if I was pronouncing his last name right, but our rookie slot corner has been has been getting a lot of work at outside, because we're lackluster on the at the cornerback position. So he's getting some work on the outside as well as the inside. Um, Dante Fowler, man, he's had a resurgence. But that damn Panthers game, wow! It's like folks almost forgot about the Dante Fowler, and he's been pretty much a journeyman in the league, and he's found a home here in DC, and he's being very, very productive, very, very productive. Shout out to our rookie who's filling in very, very nicely, Johnny Newton. Again, another pick for from Adam Peters in this draft, possibly a steal. He had the best pass rusher rate as a defensive tackle last year, period. And he was awarded his first sack last week. They tried to give him a tackle for a loss, and Dan Quinn got on the phone with the NFL and said, "Hey, y'all need to review this and look at it again, because that was a sack on Caleb Williams when I don't know if you remember the play, but he was trying to draw up a screen, and the whole defense was on top of it, and Johnny Newton got through and tackled him, and that was a pass play. So it's like, why wasn't he awarded a sack?" But anyway, he's doing really well. Dorrance Armstrong, I think he was out last week, but I think he's back now. Of course, Deron Payne. Guys are playing really, really well. Again, just playing together, getting that chemistry. It seems like they're getting very comfortable with each other and the game plan. Frankie Louvu is playing like, I guess, kind of like a Joker role, kind of like what Michael Parsons plays in Dallas. And I think he's flourishing. He's flourishing in that role. And Bobby Wagner, he's still all over the place. Our young guy, McGee, he went to Temple, linebacker, and he's been hurt for most of the year, and he came back today, so he got some playing time. So that was good to see. So give Bobby Wagner's a little long in the tooth, so give him some plays off potentially, or Frankie Louvu. He could fill in for either one of those guys, but getting him acclimated to how we're doing offensively is good as well. Jeremy Chin, um, playing pretty well in space, and also one of our best tacklers as well. Quan Mars out there, safety. At corner, Benjamin St. Just still make me pull my hair out. At this point, I'm at my beard, but you know, as that our front six is playing really, really well. Now safeties are playing cool too because Jeremy Chin is in that group, but it's just the outsides that we're concerned about moving forward when we play the upper echelon teams and upper echelon offenses moving forward. But the defense is playing better. I can't deny the fact they are playing better.
Well, Cavante, we always got to hit on all three phases, and we always got to talk about the kicker. You got one now, Mr. Siebert, Austin Siebert, that is, 2 for 2, made all three of his extra points. Tress Way, even punting, averaging 54.5 yards per punt, 2 for 109, 56-yarder, and one inside the 20. Got to show love to the special teams guys, especially when they do well.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, listen, even when we were terrible, Tress Way was still one of the best punters in the league. You know what I'm saying? So that's good that he's continuing that and averaging, over 50 yards a punt because that's you're flipping the field positions with that. Um, we haven't had a kicker. We haven't had consistent kicking in quite some time. It seems like we may have gotten one. He got a lot of work in that first game we played against the Giants. He got a lot of work. So seems like he's pretty consistent. Um, he hit on everything today, so we love it. And Tressway also, I remember for some time Tressway wasn't doing no work because we wasn't putting that often. But it's good to see that even if he's off for a little bit and comes back, he's able to still be as consistent, as he's always been. So and coverage looks great. Not giving up any touchdowns, nothing crazy on the yard. So special teams as a whole, solid. I absolutely solid. Because games a lot win a loss. can't be winning loss and some special teams. A crucial fumble or punt return for a touchdown. Things can be a game can change drastically from special teams play.
Cavante, it gets no easy. I know you'll be doing more of a preview this week, but Steelers come down to Northwest Stadium on
Whew.
Sunday off of a bye. So that should be fun. Quick thoughts on that real quick before we get ready to get out here.
So first thing that comes to mind is that man, the Pittsburgh fans typically travel well. So I think it's gonna be some terrible towels down Northwest Stadium in Landover, Maryland. So that's gonna be a thing. Omar Epps is gonna be on the sideline, so that's fun. Always good, to see him. So being able to host him, that's great. Is obviously the defense. The defense is what's the most concerning. So I got a young quarterback. I got an offensive line that's still, gelling and getting things together. TJ Watt is coming. So, and he typically comes off the right side of the offense, which means he's on the left side of the defense. So Andrew Wiley is going to have his hands full. I'm sure Austin Eckler, McNichols, even Eckler is going to have to play. Maybe even Zach Ertz might need to be on that side because he is a maniac. He is an absolute problem. But the defense as a whole is really, really good. We just know we got to key in on TJ Watt. We can't have him wreck the offensive game plan because he can and he will if you allow him to. So being able to sustain up front the line of scrimmage for is the biggest key to victory for our young quarterback and offensive line. That's going to be the most important. And Terry McLaurin on the outside and our other young receivers got to get off coverage, man. Gotta go coverage. Fitzpatrick is on the back end, one of the best safeties in the league. So it's not gonna be easy throwing the ball down the field. And Porter Jr. is on the outside, right?
Yes,
Joey.
sir.
So he's on the outside. So I don't know if he's on the is he the number one corner, or is he on the other side?
I believe he is that number one corner, Cravante. From what I see, I'll fact check that real quick, but I think so.
Yeah. Well, I knew he was on the outside. I just wasn't sure if he was playing left or right. But so
According to the depth chart, they have Joey Porter Jr. on the right side and Dante Jackson from the Panthers, who they traded for, on the left side. So two decent corners.
Okay, cool. So, but you know, they pretty, like I said, defense. They're one of the best defensive teams. So Terry McLaurin and the boys are going to have to find a way to get off there, get away from their coverage, and find a way to get open. But Cliff Kingsbury, you open that playbook up, because we are going to need it. And on the flip side, Russell Wilson will be the quarterback, right? At least their offense is not as high powered as their defense. We will have some opportunities in that matchup, but we got to force some turnovers, man. We have to be able to force some turnovers. That's one thing that the defense has not been doing, is getting the ball and giving our offense extra possessions. We're probably going to need that in this game, because the Steelers, they do a pretty good job at getting the ball back and forcing turnovers, especially with TJ Watt. So when he gets the hands on you, it's it's hard to keep hold of the ball. But we got to turn Russell Wilson into a pocket guy. We don't want the pocket moving and him getting outside the pocket, because he's pretty accurate when he does that. So we want to keep him in the pocket. He's a small guy, so being able to get our hands on him and bring him to the ground is important, because he still got a little bit of magic left in him. On the outsides with Pickens, and the other guys, Sam Pickens is the number one guy. So being able to keep him locked down for the most part, but one-on-one, I say Russell Wilson, take your shot against our secondary. Go ahead and take your shot. Because we're not great on the back end, but being able to keep Russell Wilson contained and get him down when we have opportunities when they come.
Well, Cravante, that's all we got. I mean, anything else you want to leave the people with? I know you'll be doing more as we head towards the stretch run of the season, 7-2. We're going to have previews and a post game live next week after the Steelers game.
Oh yeah, it's going to be fun. So the Ravens will be playing on Thursday, so you'll have some availability on Sunday, so that'll be cool. But I'm excited. Like I said, I'm hot. Like, this is one of the rare times where I was watching the game and I'm like, I'm not worried that we're going to throw this away. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good moving forward, and we have a big test. Our next two tests. So we're going to be in Pennsylvania for a little bit. We have the Steelers coming up on Sunday. Then we have to play the Eagles on Thursday for our NFC East matchup. So big measuring sticks to see how good our offense is against this elite level defense. And then we have pretty much our rivals in the Eagles, who we're going to be fighting with to win the division on that Thursday on a short week. So it's going to be tough, but I'm ready to see where my team really is. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Always fun with you, Cravante. As always, stay tuned. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell. We have a very action-packed, fun, jammed, I'll say rest of 2024, because we're almost at the end and we got a lot coming up the rest of the year, especially this week. Yeah. Check us out. Yes, we got a lot cooking. I know Cravante is going to be doing a lot with the Goofies and so much things we're going to do this year. We'll see what we do with that. Maybe do some new things, switch it up. But Commanders previews, Commanders post games will be coming your way, Commanders fans. We have not forgot about you. You've asked for it. We're going to bring it to you. Comment down below. Let us know your thoughts on the game. Leave an emoji. Leave something that helps us out tremendously. And let us know what you want to see more from with the Commanders. We'll see what happens on Tuesday with the trade deadline throughout the NFL and with the Commanders as well. And Cavante, always good to do this with you, my brother, and always better when your team is winning.
I tell you, because man, listen, it's hard to get me to talk about this mess when we lose it, man. so yeah, you'll definitely hear more from me, Commanders fans, and we got a big test this Sunday, but I am up for the challenge. And thanks for the great work as always, Byron, with your content and just getting off of Ravens post game victory. So that's always fun. But you're a hardest working brother in the business, man.
Appreciate it, brother. Thank you for allowing me to do what I do. And everybody that's watching this video, we got a Ravens post game and preview. We have a Commanders post game. So we are covering all the teams in the Baltimore, DMV, surrounding areas. And Cavante, as we leave the good people, we got to leave with the best song of the day as we get out of here. For Cavante, God's favorite host, Commanders fan stands up. You're 7-2 for the first time since 1996. A young Cavante when he was real young, no gray in the beard, but you're in first place. Enjoy it, Commanders fans. We'll see you on the next one. Doing the play.